Welcome to this online healing class of EWHub.com, and we're using the contemplative life of Joel Goldsmith as a bit of a guidance tonight. And I will read some Bible too, and will be from Romans 8. I'm discovering, like in the preparation of this class, that in fact what is going on is that we sink deeper and deeper into this transformational process. You know, it's like, yeah, you have your experiences. Hi, Shirley, good to see you too. You have your experiences, and you read the books, you do the exercises, you are basically, say you stepped on this path, you decided to do this path, to become like part of the awakening. So you agreed to that. And I'm gonna mute a couple of, yeah, so the fact that I'm saying, like, okay, we sink deeper and deeper into this transformative process means also that you are discovering who you really are, and not only that, it is like you also discover what you are not. And you were identified with what you're not as a human being, but now that is going to be undone. And so today we will take a little look at that, like what is actually going on. What is it that is so attractive to me to do this, and also what is say disturbing, or what is putting little blocks on the roads too, for my awakening. So what habits are in the way, or what addictions are in the way, or what thoughts are in the way, or what practices, my daily practices, are in the way actually for my awakening. And so I hope that you're going to stay with me and not run away because of what I'm going to say. I have no idea. It's not that I want to scare you whatsoever. So that's not the point. But to start, I want to start with Romans 8, because that is so. Hi, Carmina, welcome you too. And I'm gonna put you on mute too. So the Romans 8, Paul is writing a letter to the Romans, and I'm using this to distinguish, like to make a distinction between flesh and spirit. So Romans 8, and then verse 6 is, "For the mind of the flesh is death, and the mind of the spirit is life and peace. Because the mind of the flesh is hatred toward God, for it is not subject to the law of God, because it cannot be. And those who are in the flesh cannot please God. But you are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. If truly the Spirit of God dwells within you, but if a man does not have the Spirit of the Messiah in him, this does not belong to him. But if the Messiah is in you, the body is dead for the cause of sin, but the Spirit is alive for the cause of righteousness." So I don't want to make that too complicated. I'm just reading this as an introduction. So there's two things going on. Like if you, what Paul says, if you are in the flesh, like if you are taking your your reflections that you get seriously or identify with the world or what is going on in the world as that being the only happening in this world, then what Paul is saying, you're actually dead. You believe in the flesh, you believe in your five senses, and that's it. So the fact that you are here in this class is already a sign that you believe that that is not the truth about you. So that you basically are touched by a spirit, like your soul is touched by a spirit. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be here in this class. So you are of the spirit. But to make this distinction for yourself can be very helpful. And not to make yourself like a holy being or something, no, but it's more like from the inside out, you discover that is exactly connected to you. Like you really feel that something is moving in you, something is moving you. And you know there is more than just these five senses. So that is why I use this little piece of Paul's letter to the Romans to introduce the idea of spirit, being of light and love and spirit, and being of the earth and the five senses as being the only reality of who you are, who you think you are as a human being. So all the time, this is coming back to us as like you need to be born again to hear this. You cannot hear this as a human being. If you think there's only five senses and there's nothing outside of that, then it's impossible for you to hear this. But there's more. There's something else that is your reality. So the same, of course, is said by Joel, and I'm gonna read a little bit of that. Just using this as little, I use these extracts for as basis of as basic inspiration for what is going to be said, whatever that is. So Joel says in the part of the contemplative life, part 1, gaining the consciousness of the presence. So gaining the consciousness of now. And here we go. As we abide in this, that is, if we abide in this word, if we let this word abide in us, we shall bear fruit richly. The secret of the spiritual life is to recognize consciously realize, accept, and declare our oneness with our infinite, immortal, eternal source, and accept the scriptural statement that all that the Father has is ours, and that the place whereon we stand is holy ground. Not only must we accept it, but we must abide in it every single day of the week, bringing to conscious remembrance the truth of I and my Father are one. I am one with my source, and all that is flowing forth from God is flowing into my experience. So when we perceive that this is true, Jill says, and are willing to make it a part of our conscious experience, we are engaging in a form of contemplative meditation. So when we perceive that this is true, as I and my Father are one, and are willing to make it part of our conscious experience, we are engaging in a form of contemplative meditation. Well, this is really great too. I'm really happy to read this too, because what Joel is saying is that when we perceive that this is true and are willing to make it part of our conscious experience, then we are engaging in a form of contemplative meditation. And it's the contemplative meditation is like what I said before, is like a very active way of remembrance. It is like you bring it alive in you. You're going to accept this experience. You're going to have this experience of oneness. You are feeling that you're being moved by spirit, or being moved by the light and love. So, and that is a beautiful idea. That is a beautiful experience. But the question is, like, are you having those experiences? Are you allowing yourself to have these experiences, or are you basically stopping yourself from having those experiences? So there are a lot of things going on with waking up. Like you want to experience the love of God. Like you want to experience your connection with every aspect of the universe, because that will be the most natural thing for you in the end. It will be the most natural thing to occur to you. So of course you want that, because if you have a glimpse of it, you say like, oh my God, I never knew that I could experience it like this. I never knew that I could experience so much love, or so much beauty, or so much oneness, connection, communication. I never knew that I could be this fulfilled or this grateful, that I literally go down on my knees go down on my knees in tears, just because I am so happy. I am so happy that this is occurring to me. So you never knew that would be possible. So of course you want that. That is the main trigger. That is the main invitation to join on this path, and say like, okay, yes, I'm willing. Just whatever comes up, I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to really take a look at what's actually going on in my life, and ask myself, where have I been ignoring the love for someone, or the love for a situation or an object? Where am I ignoring? That's a very profound question to ask yourself. And then if it comes up what you are actually ignoring, or what needs your forgiveness, or what needs your blessing, that will be shown to you too. It's like then a situation or a person will just come into your awareness, and you have another opportunity to give everything to this person or this situation or object. So it is no longer say pushed outside, or it's no longer being separated from your consciousness. So this is a very profound exercise to do, and once you get started, it's amazing that everything can come up, and that spirit can really help you to show you these situations or these persons. And so the fact that they come into your awareness is a possibility, and it's perfect timing to let this healing or this forgiveness occur, so that you can be free of it, so that you feel like more spacious after that you've gone through this exercise. So yeah, the blocks that you put up in your consciousness to accepting the love of God can be tremendous. Like whether it's an addiction in some kind of substance, whether it's an addiction or addictive thoughts in relationships or sex or whatever. Like if you feel like an obsessive need to do something that you cannot stop yourself, then you have to ask yourself the question, like, what is basically, or what is actually my God? What am I praising? What am I looking for in all these activities of the day? What am I actually looking for? What is my God? Is that a God that is like directly connected to my gratification, or is it the God that is the God like extension of love? Is it an extension of love? So you see on this path of transformation and of your mind, this transformation of all kinds of ideas that you have, you meet up with these like blocks to the awareness of love's presence. Like you put up with, if you walk up against habits that you have, and that you have to take another look at. So maybe that's something to look at now. Like, what am I doing on a day by day basis that is actually not so helpful for becoming quiet inside myself, or say it takes up so much time, but is actually not productive at all, or not productive in terms of doesn't bring me a lot of love experience, but is more like a wavering of the mind. It's very good to take a look at that too. And then the change that can occur is going to be given. Like, if you are willing to take a look at it, then at least it's in your consciousness. Like, yes, I have to admit I do this and this and this, and it actually takes up a lot of time, but it's not giving happiness to anyone. But I'm still, yeah, in a kind of a need to do it. So if you allow that to come into your awareness, and you start to bless it or to embrace it, then it has a chance of healing. Then the healing can occur, because you're basically saying like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. So yeah, I have no need of this anymore. Even though I'm still doing it, I have no need of it anymore. And then you can just see it disappear. And so it's like something else that you don't have to do. So that gives you peace of mind. That gives you the rest that you're actually looking for. So imagine that you have a moment of perfect stillness, of perfect peace, experience of perfect peace. That is a real opportunity. That is a real happening to you. All the things you don't have to do anymore. So yeah, the idea of ignorance, or like the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, or however you want to call it, is that what that the moments that you are resisting, of basically allowing this conscious awareness of love's presence to come to you. You put that aside and say like, no, not now, maybe later, but I don't want it now. And so yeah, that doesn't do much. It's like that. Well, it keeps you off from having a conscious experience of the love of God. That is what it does. So it has a big impact. So there are so many opportunities in the day. There's so many opportunities to gladden yourself, to make yourself happy by extending yourself in by being who you really are, by coming completely in your stillness and making a connection with that, and sharing that with the world that you seem to live in. Like, you come from that. You don't react that quick anymore, or you can be totally loving despite of the reflections that you get. You are loving and extending yourself in quietness or in peace, or just by saying or doing the thing that's being given to you to do. So there are lots of opportunities to do that in the daytime. And nothing will make you happier than when you feel that something is going through you, and is actually giving this happiness, or giving this peace and rest to the ones that are around you. That is literally what you're doing. You share this with the world that you seem to live in. So I'm really happy that I can share this with you, and that you are willing to take a look at this, and that you're willing to open yourself up for a new way of looking at things, for a new way of experiencing yourself. Like you start your contemplative life with it, and not that the word contemplative is that important or anything. No, it just says that you are willing and open for being in communion with every aspect of the universe. And of course that gives you a feeling of oneness and connection and communication. And the great thing, and that's what I often call like the practicality of mysticism, is then that there will be opportunities given to you that you would not have thought of before. They literally come to you, even though a moment ago your situation seemed to be very difficult or very limited or very lonely or whatever. So this helps you to uh, start your life like as a completely new life, where basically all things are possible that you never dreamed of before. Not that I'm saying that you do this for a better life, but it's like the opportunities come your way because of your open-mindedness, and your heart is open, and Spirit is guiding you in every step that you take. So this is just an amazing thing that I can share with you. I'm speaking from my own experience with this. I've no other thing I can share in that sense with you than my own experience. Yeah, so I'm really happy that you're here. I'm just looking at the clock. Time always seems to go so fast. So we got another 10 minutes to go, so that's really nice. I'm going to read a little bit from the Contemplative Life, and I'll repeat this one more time. I am my Father are one. I am one with my source, and all that is flowing forth from God is flowing into my experience. When we perceive that this is true and are willing to make it a part of our conscious experience, we are engaging in a form of contemplative meditation. This contemplative meditation, which should take place either before we get out of bed in the morning or a few moments later, might begin with a conscious remembrance of the invisible presence and power operating in this universe. So, and then this invisible presence and power operating in this universe is going to be described in the next, almost like a prayer. How did this day come to be? Surely there must be a tremendous force, a power, a being or presence, which has brought forth the sunlight, the rain, the snow of this day, or the wind. There is something operating invisibly in this universe, sending forth all this glory into expression, a glory of which I am a part, for I, too, have been sent into expression by that which sent forth the flowers and the trees, the birds and all that is. I am one with all life, and just as this invisible force is pouring sunshine into this room, so it is pouring life and being into me and through me, intelligence, wisdom, guidance, direction, love, care, and protection. All these things are flowing in and through me from the infinite invisible source. And so I repeat this one more time. I am one with all life, and just as this invisible force is pouring sunshine into the room, so it is pouring life and being into me and through me. Intelligence, wisdom, guidance, direction, love, care, and protection. All of these are flowing in and through me from the infinite invisible source. I am one with all life. So yeah, here we are. It is not about saying lofty words or beautiful phrases. It is more like, no, am I willing to let myself be affected by it? Am I willing to also look at what I put up against this so it can be undone? So it's like like I said in the beginning, like you sink deeper and deeper into your transformation. Like this is going to the real core of your being. It's not like a superficial thing. No, this is going to engage in all of it. There's no exception to it. And not that that's being a bad thing. No, not at all. It's more like you made up this world in which you seem to be living, as like Paul said, from the flesh, with your five senses into a world that you believed is true. But now you discover more and more, it becomes a more and more like a lively experience that there's something completely different going on. And that touches you, that touches your soul, and also that brings into your awareness all that you have made real for yourself, but has no reality whatsoever. So that is like due for healing and for forgiveness. But then still it is good to read these things, like Joel says, like this beautiful, I am one with all of life. I am one with all of creation. Because that is a recognition that you will have with these words. These are whole ideas touching you, whole ideas shaking you up physically and mentally and emotionally too. It's like it's a refreshing, it's a rejuvenating force that you allow to come into yourself. Yeah, so that is the real inspiration, inspiration. I am one with all life. Just as this invisible force is pouring sunshine into this room. It's like it's an invisible force, but it's not unfeelable. You can literally experience it very well. It doesn't take anything. It just takes you to completely relax and also breathe it in, literally. So yeah, just relax and breathe this in. All these beautiful whole ideas. I'm one with all life. Like I'm one with every aspect of creation. I'm this same presence and the same power that is representing this whole universe is flowing through me. Something operating invisibly in this universe, sending forth all this glory into expression, a glory of which I am a part. For I too have been sent into expression by that which sends forth the flowers, the trees, the birds, and all that is. It's like the glory, putting all this glory into expression. So that is the life force that is running through you. So, and this is like a human being will run away when they hear it. It's like, well, yeah, that's fine. That you can't believe that. It's like, no, that is the real life force running through you. When you open yourself up for this, when you allow this to occur to you, and when you let this process of transformation take place in you, more and more is being given of that. More and more is being shown to you. So yeah, so my calling is this, like, don't be afraid to look at your own ignorance. Like, if you see what basically is a whole day, it's like, so how many minutes are there? It's like an unbelievable amount of minutes. So how many minutes are you basically using for conscious connection with the whole universe? It's like, that's just a fraction. That's just a very little bit. And it's not that that's bad or good or whatever. No, it is a, there's a lot of times that you are just totally forgetting about it, that you actually are taking a little detour into your distractions or whatever. That's inevitable when you are in this daily life and think that that's real for a moment. But when you um, suddenly remember that there's more going on than this, whatever the trigger is, it doesn't matter. It's like, then you realize in that short moment there is more. Oh yes, this is not my reality. I'm participating in it, but it's not my real life. My real life is in spirit, is in light and love. And I'm extending that and bringing that into this world by being who I really am, by having this conscious contact with God. So yeah, the good thing about forgetting is remembering. That's the only good part about forgetting. So it's like, that's totally helpful. When you become aware that you're forgetting, you can remember again. So you can make the decision that, yes, okay, I want to take a moment to just make a deep connection with the stillness that is inside of me. And from there on, I start my day again and extend what I really, what I like, what is precious to me, what I really would love to give. So thank you for joining with me in this moment. Thank you for being present with me to remember our true nature, to remember what is really going on in this moment, to remember that we are communicating as one whole being, one whole consciousness. All of this life force is pouring through this. So thank you for joining. We're getting to the end of the class, and the next step is then that it's possible for you to be part of the, say, the after class, if you want, or the after party, as I call it sometimes. Just log on again, and you're going to be part of that. So we can share and join together in this energy of love and light, and extend ourselves as who we really are. So you're totally invited to be there. And I wish you a very nice day or night or morning. And I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.